Ronaldinho, while being the best footballer in the world, has become a criminal. He was locked up in a prison in Paraguay with only $6 in his bank account.
The former Brazilian football star Ronaldinho and his brother are being detained in Paraguay.
Ronaldinho's tragic story begins with his childhood. He was born in one of the most dangerous cities in Brazil, Porto Alegre. It was a city where crime was a constant threat. His parents earned very little, and as a result, he and his siblings grew up in a small wooden shed. From birth, it was clear that the onus was on him to improve his family's life. However, there was one thing that kept them together: football. But they were so poor that they couldn't even afford to buy Ronaldinho decent football boots. So his father lied to him, telling him that if he wanted to become a professional, he had to learn to play well without shoes in order to have better ball control. And perhaps his father was right, because Ronaldinho's older brother, Roberto, became a new favela football star at the age of 16. Ronaldinho, being 10 years younger, gave it his all. He wanted to make his father proud, and Roberto also helped Ronaldinho. They trained every day on the streets. They both had the same dream, to become professional footballers for their father. He knew they were something special, and after work he spent his free time training with his boys. And then it happened. Roberto was signed by Grêmio, the city's professional football team. They made a life-changing deal for the family. It wasn't just a signing bonus. The club also provided the family with a house with a pool in a safe neighborhood. Roberto helped his family escape poverty, but only a few months later, Ronaldinho's life was changed forever. He was returning home for Roberto's 18th birthday, looking forward to celebrating. But when he entered the house, he saw that everyone was crying instead of celebrating. His father had suffered a heart attack, fallen into the pool and drowned. His idol, the man who had done everything for him and his brother so they could pursue their football dreams, was no longer with them. Roberto had become the man of the house, and it was now his responsibility to earn money to support his family. And although Ronaldinho was only 8 years old, he trained even harder, hoping to get a contract soon and help his family. The pressure weighed heavily on Roberto, but initially he did well. He helped Grêmio win titles and caught the attention of the national team. But then fate struck. He suffered a serious knee injury and had to stop playing for 8 months. It seemed it was all down to Ronaldinho now, but he was ready. During his teenage years, he worked hard on his football skills, and it paid off. Fame for his footballing genius spread after his team won 23-0 against another team, with Ronaldinho scoring all 23 goals. In 1998, the moment finally arrived. Grêmio signed him. He officially became a professional footballer, and Roberto became his manager. What they had fought for all their lives seemed to be coming true, but it was also difficult for Ronaldinho because he knew that no matter how much success he achieved, his father would never be able to be in the stadium cheering him on. After 3 successful years at Grêmio and winning the Confederations Cup with Brazil, many clubs had their eye on him, and in 2001, he moved to PSG for $5 million. All this was happening before Qatar took over. He had to prove his worth first and often started games from the bench. But he always played exceptionally well and soon secured his place in the starting 11. He became a PSG player. However, the PSG board noticed that Ronaldinho became a problem. He had achieved success. He was a millionaire, a professional footballer, and training was no longer his priority. Partying was. He would party almost every night in the clubs of Paris and would often only turn up for training on Fridays and for matches on Saturdays. Despite this, his performances on the pitch remained exceptional. In 2003, PSG knew they had to sell him, and all the big clubs wanted him. He chose Barcelona, a club that at the time was struggling to match Real Madrid. But he brought the club to a whole new level. His skills were incredible, his dribbling was out of another world, and his smile was infectious. He won the FIFA Footballer of the Year award twice, the Golden Ball, and the Champions League. He also appeared in a Nike commercial, which was the first YouTube video to exceed 1 million views. But all this could not bring his father back, and after 3 years, concerns began to arise at Barcelona as Ronaldinho won it all, and his attention turned again to partying. The whole thing escalated to the point where he would turn up drunk at training sessions. This happened just as another star began to make his mark at Barca, the young Leo Messi, and Ronaldinho took care of the shy lad and showed him the way. He helped Messi feel at home in the team and taught him how to deal with pressure. However, Barcelona did not want Ronaldinho's bad behavior to affect Messi, and it also seemed that Ronaldinho wanted a change of scenery. So in 2008, he decided to move to Italy. He joined Milan, a club that wanted to give him a chance at redemption, and he started well, but then fell back into old habits. He became a regular visitor to Italian nightlife. Milan sold him after a few years, and Ronaldinho moved from club to club. At Brazilian club Fluminense, it seemed he had a clause in his contract that allowed him to party the night away. And in 2015, the time came. Football legend Ronaldinho moved away from the sport he loved. But even then, his decision-making did not improve. Although he was no longer earning like he did during his active football career, he didn't stop partying and drinking excessively. The truth is that he wasn't happy and didn't get the help he needed, and the situation got worse. He refused to pay his bills, got involved into questionable cryptocurrency operations, and repeatedly argued with Brazilian authorities. For example, he illegally built a bridge on his property, so the authorities had no choice but to charge their idol. In court, it came to light that he had debts in excess of $1 million and only $6 in his bank account. He went from being a millionaire to owning $6. As a result, the court confiscated his passport because it was suspected that Ronaldinho had hidden the money. Everyone thought this was his lowest point, but then Ronaldinho and Roberto made one of the biggest mistakes of their lives.
Ronaldinho Gaucho was arrested in Paraguay on Friday for allegedly attempting to enter the country with a fake passport.
They were both arrested for trying to enter Paraguay with false passports. I mean, look at this. The passports were for Paraguayan citizens, and Ronaldinho is well known in South America, so the officials knew he should have a Brazilian passport. And this one couldn't be real. Ronaldinho and his brother were jailed and faced a potential 5-year prison sentence. He repeatedly claimed that he did not know the passports were fake and that he was not responsible for them. It was the people who invited him to Paraguay who were responsible. However, he was not released, so he ended up in prison in Paraguay. But he seemed to be returning to his old love. He started playing football with other prisoners, but still had to celebrate his 40th birthday alone behind bars. After 32 days, he was allowed to leave the prison and stay under house arrest, but only after Ronaldinho and Roberto paid bail of $1.6 million. Where did the money come from? I don't think he was completely broke after all, but who knows? And after 5 months of house arrest, both were allowed to return to Brazil. But it seems the whole situation was also the wake-up call he needed. He seemed to want to take control of his life again. He became a stadium ambassador for a football team, set up a music studio, launched his own brand of gin, and focused on sponsorship deals. A few months after his release from prison in March 2022, we saw a picture of him on Instagram with a Rolls-Royce. He seemed to be earning well again. He also started producing his own film, and the trailer reads, "A difficult period of my life is coming to an end. Fortunately, I can never thank enough those who have supported me." I hope that Ronaldinho has gained control of his life. At least, the title of his film seems to indicate this. Ronaldinho, the happiest man in the world.